Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I know it's been some time since I did another video on a product review or something like that, but today I've got something that is new to the market. Something from Mooer. You probably know them from making nano pedals and simulators of amps and cabs and things like that. Anyway, they've come out with a new product. It's an audio interface. And yes, I know there's tons of audio interfaces out there, but this one's a little bit different. This one is, again, being the whole thing about Mooer is their ability to pack a whole bunch of stuff into a small space. This one is no different. There's two audio interfaces that we're going to talk about here, but mainly the one that I have that was sent to me from Mooer. It's called the Steep II. There's two models, the Steep I and the Steep II. Here's what that looks like. Has a lot of lookalikes to maybe another more popular and much more expensive interface from Universal Audio, and that being the Apollo line. So this one looks a lot like an Apollo Solo. So it has a lot of similarities in the styling of that. I'm not going to compare a $700 Apollo Solo with the Mooer Steep II because the price difference is ginormous, obviously. But I will just discuss a few of the main features on it and then have a quick look at it, and that'll help you decide if this is something that you want to pack into your arsenal. The main theme here, again, is it's tiny, it's compact, it's USB powered, and so it's got a lot of features that may appeal to someone who's maybe recording on the road, maybe just doing quick demos and ideas and things like that. Anyway, this is what we're going to have a look at. This is the Mooer Steep II. So the main difference between this and the Steep I is that this has two dedicated XLR jacks, combo XLRs, and 1/4 inch. So you can put an instrument in either input 1 or input 2. You can actually use them as a stereo pair or individually 1 and 2. So that's kind of a nice feature to be able to do that. On the side here, you'll also notice that it's got a 1/4 inch headphone jack. Got in there. Volume is just a volume rocker on the side here that you can adjust the volume of the headphones. And then on the back, it shows a power connections. Okay, so it just takes a standard 5-volt USB-C connector. So you could use your iPhone block charger, Android block charger, whatever have you. It just sends 5 volts of USB power to power the device, so that's nice and compact. Again, you don't need a big bulky adapter. And then it's got a USB 2.0 connection, and this is where the actual data from the AD converter is going to get sent into your computer or your mobile device. The Steep II has the MIDI in and out connectors, and then the Steep I does not have MIDI. The Steep II also and Steep I have the right and left stereo main outputs as well. Just to give you an idea, and before I talk about what's on the top here, I'm just going to show you how I'll put something a little bit relative to you so you can understand what I'm talking about. But this is my trackpad. Okay, this is my trackpad for my Mac. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to set this right on top. So it's right on top of the Steep II. It's a 2 in, 2 out, and it is basically the same, takes up the same real estate. You know, it's obviously thicker, but it's the same size as this Apple trackpad. So is it compact? Yes, absolutely it's compact. So we've got gain on input 1 and input 2 separately. We've got LEDs here on the side, and in true audio interface fashion recently, you might be familiar with the Focusrite line where they have the halo where it's green and then it turns yellow when it's about to clip, kind of the danger zone. And then when it shows red, that means that the signal's clipping. With this particular one, it does something similar. It shows the LEDs, and again, this is where it's a little bit familiar with the audio, Universal Audio Apollo, or the Solo, where you would see the green and yellow and red signal coming in, and you can adjust that with the gain knobs here. So when it's green, your signal's good. There's details in the manual. It's a tiny little manual, but there are details in there telling you what the actual gain levels are for the LEDs. And I will grab that really quickly. Okay, so input level indicator. So green is input ranges from 41 dBFS to -6. Okay, orange or yellow from -6 to -1.4 dBFS. Okay, so there's only not even a 5 decibel range there. And then the red LED is for more than 1.4, which also indicates clipping. So if it's red, that's bad. Given the details on the DBFS there, if you're recording into an audio interface, you're typically going to want to record at something less than what the yellow marker is showing or orange marker is showing on here, because it's -6 to -1.4. Ideally, you want to record a guitar or any signal for that matter, maybe anywhere between a -18 to -12 dBFS, because you're sending a digital signal. And so you want to have plenty of headroom if you're actually going to be mixing this using plugins, if you're going to add compression, EQ, any of those things. If you're going to boost the signal in any way, you want to be able to have that headroom so that you're not constantly messing with gain controls to bring the level down because you've boosted so much or compressed, and you've got this boosted signal happening all the time. So if you go in at -18 to -12, you've got plenty of headroom. So I would say, based on that, if you're going to use the Mooer Steep II, keep it green, okay? Now, when I connected this to my iPad, just looking at the dial here, I had connected my guitar straight in. I didn't use a DI or anything like that. I just went straight in. And I probably had it sitting about 8:30, 9 o'clock on the dial here. And mind you, I have active pickups. Okay, so if you're using passive pickups, not battery powered, you probably could increase that a little bit. I didn't demo that. I demoed with my 7-string guitar. It's got active pickups in it, and they're quite hot. So I had it about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then when I was really hitting the strings hard is when I would maybe move into the orange area, which is still okay. But that's what you're shooting for here. Okay, so other than that, this switch here, instrument, when it's on and lit up, this is what tells you that you're actually connecting an instrument level. So a guitar, bass guitar, things like that you would plug in with a 1/4-inch jack. And when it's disconnected, you're using you would be using the XLR connection or sending in like a mic level. It's got 48-volt phantom power. When that's engaged, it engages the phantom on both inputs. Stereo direct monitor. Okay, so when this is enabled, it's going to monitor inputs 1 and 2 as a stereo pair. Okay, when it's disengaged, it's sending a mono monitor signal for input 1 and input 2. Main outs, this is strictly a volume control for your 2 main outputs that you may have connecting to stereo speakers or monitors in your home studio setup. And then this mix level here, this is a nice addition. This mix just adjusts the mix between what's coming straight in, the inputs, and what's being fed back from your DAW, for example. So if you're monitoring in Garageband, for example, and you're using an amp sim within Garageband, you would turn the mix knob. If you want to monitor what that amp sim sounds like in Garageband, you would turn it all the way clockwise, and then you'll be monitoring just the signal coming from Garageband. And if you turn it counterclockwise, that'll start blending in the unprocessed signal coming directly from your instrument from within the interface before it comes back from your device. So that's basically a rundown of what's going on here. Just to tell you the price quickly, from what I've been able to find online, if you're in Canada like me, the price is going to be about $165 for the Steep 1 and about $175 for the Steep 2. So another $10 for another phantom powered instrument / mic input. Not bad, right? I think the only place you can get it right now in Canada is directly from Mooer's website or through AliExpress.com. I checked on Amazon. It's not available there yet, but I'm assuming it probably will be soon because there's a whole bunch of other Mooer products that you can get there right now. So those are the prices. So Canadian dollars, is it worth it? It's Probably by the time that you pay the import fees and taxes, it's going to be $200 for the Steep II, which is a little bit less than a Focusrite 2i2. The Focusrite 2i2 is a little bit bigger though, so if you're looking for super compact, then this would be probably a really good deal because it does work with PC, Mac, iPad, and iPhone, and I'm assuming Android as well, although I haven't tested that myself. But I did test it with my iPhone and my iPad and my MacBook. Right now, it currently is connected to my MacBook. There was no drivers to install. As soon as I plugged in the USB-C, my Mac picked up the new interface and automatically assigned to use it, and it worked flawlessly. There was no issues there whatsoever. It sounded good. It sounded clean. I did do a tiny little recording, which sounds like total garbage musically from my perspective, but it was something I just hacked together to make sure the signal path was good and to give it a quick test. And I did that on my iPad, so I'll play that now so you can see and have a look. So, as you can see, it does work. There are a couple things that I would probably rather have on it. Hopefully, they're going to come out with maybe a version 2 of this or something. But if it were me, I would much prefer to have the headphone volume right underneath this mix knob here instead of on the side as a volume rocker. Not a big fan of that because I don't know, it's difficult to get to. All the knobs for everything else are right on the top here. So could this mix knob be moved up maybe so it's center with this and then have the headphone knob right here? To me, that would be fantastic. The only other thing that I will say is that this will not work just by plugging in the USB connector to your iPhone or iPad. Okay, so first of all, you're going to need one of these cables. That's a USB to Lightning connector. And this is how I tested my iPhone and iPad. To USB cable. So you're going to need one of these. I think they're only $25 direct from Apple, and then they're fully supported. That said, I do have another one that allows me to connect the power connection to charge the iPad so it's got full power while using a USB device. This one did not work to power the Steep either. So you can't use that. So when you're using an iPhone or an iPad or Android phone even, you're going to need to use a separate charge cable. So you'll need a separate USB to plug into the power, and you can plug that into any USB outlet that supports 5-volt charging. So that's the only downfall is I wish that you could just plug in one cable directly into your device and it would power that way, but I understand it's just a little too much power consumption for the mobile device. It would be nice to see if they could change that, reduce the power consumption. Final thoughts, I guess it's a nice, tiny little package. It does exactly what it says it does. It gives you 24-bit, 48, 96, 192, if I'm not mistaken. 24-bit, 192, it says it supports up to. Okay, so I don't know if that means it supports 44.1, or if it's just 48, 96, 192, but it's 24 bits. So either way, it's definitely got you covered with the standard and digital recording there. So no worries. The only thing is, and this is just a Canadian dollar thing right now, is it's maybe a little pricey for you to import it in because you're going to pay import fees. I had to when I received this. So it's going to be about $200 for you to pick one up. But again, if you're a mobile artist or you're on the road and you want to get ideas down on the bus or in the van or whatever have you, wherever an idea strikes you, I mean, this is a nice portable little solution. Yes, you will have to have a couple of USB cables with you and a charging brick, or connect it directly to a laptop if you're not using your iPhone or iPad, and works well. Now, the only other thing is that it doesn't come with a suite of software like other competitive audio interface companies do, such as Arturia. Focusrite obviously has a suite of software packages and plugins that you can download. This doesn't come with any of that. You can download, however, an iOS app called GE Labs, and that's their guitar modulation suite, and it's got everything in it. I mean, it is packed, that app, and it's completely free. So there is that, right? They give you that, and that's what this is for, really. It's for recording instruments. Yes, you can record mics and everything like that too, but that's what this is for. That's the Mooer Steep II. Check it out with the links in the description below. And if this is something that interests you at all, what are you going to use it for? Leave a comment in the section below, letting me know what you think you would use this tiny compact audio interface for. If you want to see any more videos related to mobile recording, just hit the subscribe link below. If this video was of interest to you in any way, please let YouTube know by hitting the like button below as well. So thanks for being here. Keep making music.